I know what you're thinking. Pilot, how can you be so good at Pokemon cards and be so handsome at the same time? Unfortunately for you, I was born this way. Also, why am I combining the Paldean Fates best cards and the Paldean Fates Pokemon TCG Live crafting guide into one video when 2 video equal more money? Well, that's because Paldean Fates is a collector set, not a competitive set, so there's like 10 cards we're talking about in total. Thanks to some early openings, we know some of the cards that won't be included in Paldean Fates. Those are Garganacl EX, Stovillin EX, Grafaiai EX, and Rhyfort, with Mabostiff EX getting pushed to its own box at the end of February. These omissions sucked because Stovillin and Garganacl were primed to be 2 cards that had a chance to shake things up, but like Hank Hill twerking, not as much as you'd want. As for the cards that are confirmed for Paldean Fates, the one at the top of the list is Technical Machine Crisis Punch. For 3 colorless energy, you can attach this to a Pokemon and deal 280 damage. The downside is that it can only be used when your opponent has 1 prize card remaining. But any deck that can get 3 energy on a Pokemon will want to at least entertain the idea of putting in 1 copy. So things like Arceus V-Star, Lugia V-Star, Miraidon EX, and more can have a potential 280 damage attack at the end of a game. By far, the best use for Falcon Punch comes in the form of Cramorant. Because of Cramorant's ability, it can use any technical machine for free. So now your lowly Cramorant can all of a sudden deal a massive 280 damage at the end of a game. Oh, and don't forget that the card is absolutely broken in a sudden death situation. When you first read Moonlit Hill, you might think it's insane in Gardevoir. Unfortunately, at least according to Japanese lists, it's just a nice inclusion, not a replacement for Artisan or Collapse Stadium. By discarding a Psychic Energy from your hand, it heals 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. That means you can slow down something like Iron Valiant EX and remove any lingering damage counters from Gardevoir EX's ability. While it does potentially allow Baby Gardevoir and Zacian V to deal a bit more damage, odds are most of your energy will be in the discard pile after 4 turns, so Moonlit Hill loses its usefulness. Still, it's another card that improves Gardevoir before rotation hits it really hard at the end of March, taking Fog Crystal, Level Ball, Baby Gardevoir, Zacian V, and Battle VIP Pass. You can never have too many draw supporters. And while Atticus does require more steps than something like Professor's Research, it's not as difficult as you might think. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, Atticus becomes a Shuffle Draw 7. Pair it with Brute Bonnet and Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, and all of a sudden you have arguably the best draw supporter in Standard. I'd recommend getting 4 just to have them in your collection, especially since non-holo trainers are just 100 credits each. Based on Japanese tournament results, the only Pokemon that has a chance to impact the meta is Espathra EX. The ability, Dazzling Gaze, forces your opponent's active Pokemon to have an extra energy attached to attack, regardless of whether it's a basic or an evolution. You can also chuck Pokemon League HQ in there, forcing basics to need 2 additional energy in order to attack. A grass typing also helps Espathra hit Charizard EX and Roaring Moon EX for weakness, and you can use Xatu to power it up with Psychic Energy. This is important because Espathra's attack sucks unless there's a lot of energy attached to both active Pokemon. If you're planning on building an Espathra deck, get at least 3. The new Charmeleon from Paldean Fates is an improvement over the existing Charmeleon due to its ability. While the attack is a bit weak, Flare Veil protects it against effects of attacks, meaning Sableye Lost Mine can't do anything to it, nor can Medicham V's Yoga Loop. Such an exciting card for the 5th spot, huh? Another super duper exciting card in Paldean Fates is this Frigibax. If you want to play a 70 hit point Frigibax with 2 retreat in your deck, this is the optimal one. It's not much, but drawing a card with a stranded Frigibax is better than doing 10 damage. Yeah, like I said, Paldean Fates isn't meant for competitive players. And now we come to the part of the video where I scrape the bottom of the barrel. Is Great Tusk EX good? Not really. Can you win a few games with it and then forget about it forever? Sure. 250 hit points on a basic EX is more than Pikachu and Zekrom had, and you can boost it to 310 with the Ancient Booster. The ability, Quaking Demolition, is extremely destructive, discarding the top 5 cards of your deck at the end of your turn if it's in the active, but you can turn it off with Path to the Peak. And the attack, Great Bash, does 260 damage for 4 energy, also bypassing something like Mimikyu's ability. Again, not amazing, but you can put a copy or 2 in Garchomp EX and whack off a bit. Remember United Wings, the deck that's like Mad Party but worse? Well, now it gets a card that makes it still not great. But if you start Watch Roll, I've got some good news. It can evolve and snipe someone on the bench for a single energy. Kilowattrel's attack, United Thunder, does 10 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each Pokemon in your discard pile with the United Wang's attack. So you're likely only going to be dealing 100 damage maximum with Kilowattrel, but it could be useful for cleaning up knockouts or dealing with low HP basics. Zoroark is rotating at the end of March, but with Paldean Fates it gets a few new friends to whack off with. Justin Basil doesn't believe in the power of friendship, so no proxies were made, meaning I had to take screen caps from pack openings on YouTube, and those damn YouTubers weren't thinking of me when they made their videos, so the quality is kinda rough. Anyways, the new camera up deals 240 fire damage for a reversal energy, though you do have to discard the reversal afterwards. Lantern deals 200 lightning damage for a reversal energy, and you don't have to discard it afterwards. Executor deals 160 psychic damage and puts the reversal energy back into your hand. Donphan can mill 2 cards for a double turbo, or deal 160 fighting damage for a reversal. And if you're feeling spicy, Golden Go can deal 240 metal damage for a reversal energy, though you do have to go 3 for 3 on coin flips. And because I want to put top 10 best cards in the title, I'll throw Mime Jr. in here. For 0 energy, you can use Mimed Games, and your opponent has to choose one of their Pokemon's moves that Mime Jr. uses. Obviously, a Miraidon player would just choose Flaffy's attack, but this card is still funny and totally won't break PTCGL. Some new cards I didn't talk about are Paldean Student, Pneumonia's Backpack, Iron Tread ZX, and Clive. That's because they aren't very good. Alright, so for competitive players on PTCGL, your credits are mostly safe when it comes to Paldean Fates. Realistically, you just need 3 Espathra EX, 2 Charmeleon, 3 Frigibacks, 1 Crisis Punch, 1 Moonlit Hill, and 4 Atticus to get the best cards in the set, totaling 2,700 credits. And if you want Great Tusk EX, Kilowattrel, and the new Zoroark friends, add around 2,000 more credits. For those wondering, the free decks with the Paldean Fates Battle Pass will be Lugia V-Star and Gardevoir EX, but neither of them feature any brand new cards, just the reprints for a few cards in Gardevoir. Overall, don't get your hopes up for Paldean Fates. Yeah, a few cards will be fun to mess around with, but if you're waiting for something big to change in the Pokemon TCG, wait until Rotation and Temporal Forces on March 21st before subjecting yourself to live again. What are you most looking forward to in Paldean Fates? Let everyone know in the comments.